Hey YouTube, it's your girl Chic from Chic Say What. I am back today with another hot topic. Today, something a little different than normal. I'm not going to be sitting up here just rambling, talking to whoever's listening about whatever's going on in the world or the YouTube streets. So I have a special guest today. We have Jennifer Bibby. Jennifer, say hey.
Hey, y'all.
So, bam, today's topic is going to be, the title is loyalty to the black man or nah. So basically the reason I decided to discuss this is because I just been hearing a lot of chatter. Jennifer, if it's muted, just kind of put yours on mute just so it won't echo. And I'll let you know you can kind of unmute so we won't have the echo in the background. But basically, I've just been hearing a lot of chatter in the YouTube streets about just women and the whole divestment conversation, the whole I want a black man, but there is no black man out there. So sis got to do what she got to do. Or bump black men. I just never wanted a black man, don't care for black men, and I'm just wanting something else. So it's kind of like two different kind of viewpoints, because I've heard some women who like are strictly, look, I don't even pay no mind to the black man. I strictly just look at Brad. Forget Antoine. I'm just looking at Brad. Then I hear the women who's like, sure, if Antoine, he working with something and he's bringing something to the table, yes, I will entertain him. But if he's not meeting my needs and I'm not able to check off my list, my requirements on my list, then I got to go ahead and see what Brad's talking about. So basically, it's not an all or nothing with some, but then with some, it's just like, I just don't want anything to do with my own, man in my own cultural group. So today I have a guest today, and I just wanted to, Jennifer's a single woman out here. I'm going to, allow her to introduce herself in a little bit and just let her talk about who she is, her background, her past dating experience, what she's wanting, fast forward to today, what her current situation is. And we're just going to kind of go from there and just get the conversation popping. So Jennifer, go ahead and unmute yourself and just just tell us who you are. Who is Jennifer Bibby?
Well, Jennifer Bibby is a 38-year-old single woman. I'm a professional woman. Of course, sometimes a lot of people think that your profession does get in the way of dating. It does kind of limit your dating area, especially depending on what kind of field you're in. With me, I would say, yes, that has played a role in my dating ability. Because I'm always on the go. So if it's not someone I'm working with, I'm usually not dating because of the way I'm on the road. But now I'm a little bit more settled in my career now to where I'm more open to dating and dating more men, black men, and outside of my race.
Okay, cool. Okay, so dating outside. So what's been like your experience with dating the black man? And then we'll kind of go from there as far as with exploring with outside your race.
So I would say, okay. So I would say my experience with dating the black man, not too great. Okay. And the reason I say that is because the black men that I dated, not all of them were bad. One guy I dated, he was okay until he was more intimidated by my work, by what I did, what I brought to the table. And I wouldn't just say it was him, it was a couple of other ones that I've dated like that, it was more intimidation, as though I'm at this level in my career, you're here, but if I'm trying to bring you on, get you on, it's like I'm demeaning you. Okay. You don't want to, move up and do what you need to do as a man to hit that level where I am. But then you want to tell me what I can and cannot do with what I'm bringing in.
Okay. So basically you've dated men, and for the most part, you've made more money than they have.
Correct.
So outside of that, what have the education? Have these been men who've also been professionals where they had like education behind them? Talk to me about like what their jobs were and if they had jobs, what that looked like in their age.
So one was in school at that time when I dated, when I first moved here. He was still in school, getting education. That didn't work out. He was a security guard. But at that point, I was entering the insurance field. I was making more at that point anyway, always. There was another guy I dated. He was in medical, nutrition sales. Had a college degree, but with sales, you work on commission, so it's never guaranteed what you're going to bring in. So of course, with that, I still made more. Now, there was one guy that I, dated just for a couple of months there. He did make more than me. That was not the issue. The issue was religion with that one. So just based off of that and his viewpoint versus what I was showing, especially my dad being a pastor, he was great on paper. Everything lined up, but it was just that one issue there where he agreed with something that I did not agree with.
Okay. So so basically the relationships kind of didn't work. Do you feel it's because of more of like a role reversal, whereas you been kind of like you're the primary breadwinner, which would a lot of people might perceive as being kind of like the leader within the relationship? Since your income was higher, would you say that, or like
I
from a
would say so
personality?
because I,
Mhm.
I would say so because to me, just based on my personality, and I think a lot of women may do this and not realize it, when we know we're bringing in more and that person or that guy that we're with isn't doing what he's supposed to do, even though he may be the man in the relationship, we take on that role. We become more forceful in things, wanting, doing things and planning out stuff. And it seems like to me, this is just me personally speaking, the roles reverse, but yet they still want to try to be the man in a relationship. But what you bring to the table, you're not bringing anything to the table to show me that you are that man.
So I've been hearing a lot where I'll hear men talk about women taking on like masculine traits and things like that. So with that
Mhm.
being said, do you feel like within the relationship, for those reasons that you just said, you took more on the masculine energy in the relationship more so than the guy you were maybe dating at the time?
I feel so, yes.
And how do you feel? I don't know, at the time, how did you feel about that? And now looking back, how do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, I know we all have a role to play when we're in a relationship. No woman really wants to be the masculine person in the relationship when they got a man right there to do it. So, of course, at that time, you just do what you got to do and move on because you're like, okay, I'm with this guy. He seems like a good guy. You play along with it as long as you can till you just get tired of it and you just done with it. And at the place I am now, I know I'm not settling for that anymore. I feel like in order to have a successful relationship, to me, that person needs to be on my level. You either need to be on the level I'm on already or above it to where, we're not having that issue to where I'm not trying to tell you how to be a man and you're not intimidated by me.
So today, what would that look like for you as far as like if a man, let's just still stick with the black man, if the black man were to approach you and show interest in you, what are some things that you would be looking for today that maybe back then when you were maybe in your 20s that maybe you didn't kind of list as being high or priority on your requirement list?
So today I will be looking for someone who is successful in their career, who has a good career standing for us. Like I'm not, and I don't want to come off sounding like I'm better than, but if I know what salary range I'm in, I can't date someone who is going to be below that. So I need for you for your career path to be equal or greater than mine.
So do you feel like, with that being said, somebody whose career path or their income is either yours or greater, it's going to come with a different type of energy from them, as far as a different type of drive?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, because then too, they'll understand my path as well and what I'm doing.
Now, what's your thoughts on the reality, or the reality of, say, meeting the man that kind of is at your level of income, without, disclosing the amount that you make, would you say you make above 50,000 a year?
Yes.
Probably your average. Okay. So with that being said, are you aware of maybe what your average man may make today? And do you think it's realistic or do you think it's likely to have a black man, to come to you basically with those requirements?
I think it is, but you have to be at the right place at the right time. Usually men, especially black men that make that kind of money, they're older. So a lot of times they're already married off. So if I'm looking for someone and I know, okay, I'm going to have to be with someone who's some type of executive or a doctor or a lawyer or whatever, usually they're a lot older and they're married off, as far as like African Americans. Or I would say if they're not married, they're looking for someone who is younger than, our age group. And some, they're not looking for us in particular, for as the black woman.
Okay. So now, going down that path with looking for us as far as with the black woman, what's your thoughts or opinion about that, as far as, or what you've witnessed or experienced with, the black man, and his preference? Let's just talk about preference, whether it's from aesthetics, from a physical standpoint, money. What have you seen any, differences between maybe how you may have been perceived by a man versus another woman of another, either cultural group, or someone who maybe looked different than you? Have you noticed anything or had any experiences in that area?
I've noticed that it's not just the culture group, I would say, or race. Well, let me put it like this. I've seen people, or the black men who are in those positions. It's either they want that model shaped woman if she's black, or they're going outside of the race, period.
Okay. So with those two observations, do you think you can compete with any of those areas, as far as, do you think you can compete? Do you have any desire to compete or to make any changes with yourself, if you feel like, oh, okay, well, this would, get me that much closer to getting that black man? What has been your thoughts pertaining to that?
No, I'm not going to compete with anyone. I'm not going to compete with anyone. I feel like what's for you is for you. But with that being said, I'm not going to wait around, for that black man just to come around and be like, oh, okay, well, I think I had the fun. Now I had this, and this, but okay, now I'm ready to settle down with a thicker woman or a thicker black woman at that point.
Okay.
No.
Okay. So have you experienced maybe other men of other cultural groups being more acceptance in what you bring to the table, such as your physical appearance and the money that you make? Just your whole total package.
Yeah. I would say yes, because being in the industry I am, which is insurance, they always say that's the good old boys club. I've had more interaction with white men younger than me and older than me than I've had with my own race.
So with your experience, how has that experience been with those men that have been white?
I mean, it's been a better experience than I've experienced with the black man itself. It may, be short run because, like I said, I'm, in different parts of the states, but no matter where I went, there was always some connection with a guy, but the guy was always white and younger. So it's kind of funny because it's like, wow, you get this attention from a different race, but you can't even pull it from your own race, and they're okay with what you're doing. But then again, it goes back to they understand your level, they understand the playing field they're in.
So, what's your thought on a black man? I've heard black men out there say, "Oh, well, black woman, you're not desired, or the white man don't want you because you're too heavy, you're too dark, you're this or that." What's your thoughts on that from your own experience with the white man?
I've seen it since I've been in insurance, and I would say I've seen it. We would go out when I was working at one of the first insurance companies I worked with. I was still a file clerk at that time, and I would go out to lunch with some other professional ladies who were in underwriting or adjusters at that time, where I was trying to get to. And I've seen it at Christmas parties. They will be with, the person they're with or whatever. But if you have a black woman come in there, and they like tall black women, they love tall black women and long hair. You can be thick as heck. Long as you tall and got long hair, you go turn some white necks, period.
Wow.
They're coming to you. They're offering, oh, can I go get you a cup of wine, a glass of wine, or do you want to come over here and chat with us? I mean, they would chat you up in they like that. And it could be, I think it's just our shape, the way we're made. The way we made. That's why I say, as long as you're tall, they don't care about the extra. Just as long as you tall and long hair, they love it.
Wow, that's interesting. Like, I've never heard that one. I have heard, someone say, it's a YouTuber I follow. I think what's her name? Her name left me. But her brand is the Crystalline from the Pink Pill.
Mm-hmm.
And she talks about how, and I think she looks tall. So
Mm-hmm.
that's funny you say that. She pretty much has long hair. And she talks about not believing the hype when it said that, white men don't like black women, this and that.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, that's just the furthest from the truth. And she just talked about on her channel, she talked about being in California, literally like walking. She's like, God, just do not believe. She's like, I go in these environments and these men, these white men just love black women. And a lot of them think that they don't have a chance with the black woman. So it's almost like that disconnect between the black woman and the white man, where they're thinking like, oh, I don't have a chance. And then the white one, the never, and then now crystalline is more of like a smaller frame. Maybe like 5'9", 5'10". It was my first time
Okay, you breaking out real bad.
hearing. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. I heard you say
kind of
you choppy again, really bad.
Can you hear me, Jennifer? Okay.
I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
Okay. in the
You're out again.
woman who, who's heavier, who, who's who they deem who, who's overweight, like they're just